What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another episode of NBA Weekly. I'm your host, Pee Wee the Plug, and a round of applause for me and my New York people around the globe. Go Knicks, go Knicks, go Knicks, go Knicks. Knicks tape, baby. Damn, we did it. We did it. We did it. I'm excited. Listen, the one thing I'm going to say to a lot of people is you don't understand the stresses, I'll say, of being up 3-1 and having a closeout game. Obviously, you rather be up 3-1 than down 3-1. I don't want to complain about being up 3-1, but for me, it was so nerve-wracking because I didn't really want to get excited until I knew we had it in a bag, until I seen us win that fourth game to advance, because we've seen all type of stuff. And when it's your team, it's different. Even if you up 3-0, if it's your team, it's like, man, I don't want to be the first team to blow a 3-0 lead. You know what I mean? So for me, and being a Knicks fan, I just had to see that final win going to the column. We did it. We done it. We're advanced to the second round. Don't know who we're going to play because the Milwaukee Bucks are still the Milwaukee Bucks, even though they're down 3-1, and it's taking crazy performances for Jimmy Butler to, put Miami in a win column. But they are up 3-1. Obviously, we would love to play Miami. We're going to get to that. But tonight's game, the Knicks advance. We beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'll be honest, going into this series, into this playoffs, as an unbiased analyst, I definitely came into this series giving the upper hand to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I looked at Cleveland as a defensive team, a defensive unit with length, size all year long. They have been a dominant defensive group. And then I also looked at the fact that Donovan Mitchell, for all of his career, has been a guy that we've looked at to elevate his game in the bright lights. The playoffs is where Donovan Mitchell rises and takes his game to a whole different level ever since he came into the NBA. With the Jazz as a rookie against the Thunder team, the bubble, we've seen performances in his last year with the Utah Jazz. So for me, I came in like, yeah, Donovan Mitchell is going to try to have some crazy performances in the Garden. He's going to try to kill us. We almost had a chance to get him. We didn't put RJ or enough stuff in the package to get him, so he's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder. He's talked about how he thought he was going to be a Knick, and he thought the deal was done. So, it's home to him. He's going to have family in the crowd. I definitely was anticipating that. And for us to not only keep his performances minimal, but to have him drop from his regular season to his playoff performance, to me, it speaks volumes, and we did that across the board. Donovan Mitchell came into this series as a guy who was averaging 28 points per night in a regular season throughout the course of an 82-game season. He comes and leaves this playoff series with 22 points per game. We had him shooting 30% from three, low 40% from the field, below 70% from the free throw line. Very, very tough for him all series long to get a rhythm and to get going and to flow. Darius Garland, over the last couple games, got things going, but I think we limited him well. And I think we exposed the fact that this was Darius Garland's first playoff series. This was Evan Mobley's first playoff series. They do have a hole at the wing area with Karis LeVert, Isaac Okoro. And I think the main thing that we did was we punched them first. We brought the physicality to them in the very first game of the series. And I think from the rest of the point on, Cleveland was stressing to themselves to try to match that physical, gritty, grimy energy, and they just couldn't. Evan Mobley is still a year or two away from physically being able to impose his will on some of his opponents. And we even saw in this matchup all series long, Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle were able to have their way. Even a guy like Josh Hart was able to really physically have his way and really kill the glass. And even if you look at tonight's game, Mitchell Robinson, 18 rebounds, number one, is ridiculous. 18 rebounds for Mitchell Robinson, 12 rebounds for Josh Hart. So just between Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart, that's 30 rebounds. 30 rebounds. And Josh Hart is what, 6'4", 6'5" on a good day? 6'5" on a good day. We lose Julius Randle 16 minutes into the game to an ankle injury, which is another thing. We want to hope that the Miami Heat win that series against the Bucks, but we probably wanted to go 7 games. Please make that series as long as y'all can so Julius Randle can comfortably rest his ankle and get healthy for that second round, because we don't need him prematurely going out there anymore, because it's only going to make the ankle worse and worse and worse and worse. So please, Miami and Milwaukee, extend that series as long as y'all can for us in New York. But anyway, 18 rebounds for Mitchell Robinson, right? Out of those 18 rebounds, 11 of them were offensive. 11 offensive rebounds for Mitchell Robinson, who, again, was in the front court pretty much with a guy who's not even 6'6" and Josh Hart. And on the flip side, the Cleveland Cavaliers have Jared Allen, who's a 7-footer, 7'1", and then Evan Mobley, who's 6'10", 6'11", damn near another 7-footer. So you got two 7-footers who couldn't keep Mitchell Robinson off the glass at all. 11 offensive rebounds. The Cleveland Cavaliers as a team had 4. They had 4 offensive rebounds. Mitchell Robinson out-rebounded the Cleveland Cavaliers by his damn self. And to me, that was a big deciding factor. We really hurt them on the glass, on both sides of the glass, offensively, defensively. We cleaned up the glass very well, and I think a big part of that was Mitchell Robinson. Julius Randle rebounds well. R.J. Barrett came in and was hitting the glass. Obi Toppin at times, but I also think the biggest instrumental key factor is Josh Hart. And Josh Hart had a quote the other day where he said he gets the rebounds that kind of takes the life out of a team. And I agree. Josh Hart just finds a way to crash the glass. He doesn't get the offensive rebounds that are like tapped out and he runs them down. Like, no, Josh Hart goes in there with the Lions, Tigers, and Bears, and he grinds for offensive rebounds, and they're always the key offensive rebound. He gets the type of offensive rebound that we get, and we hit a 3, and that sparks the 11-2 run. You know what I mean? He gets the offensive rebound where the Cavaliers desperately needed a stop. They just went on a 7-0 run, and they just need one more stop to cut the lead down to a one-possession game. And nope, Josh Hart gets the offensive rebound. No, you're not going to get that stop. And then, boom, we get an and one, and now it goes back to a 3-possession game, and it takes the life out of not only the Cavaliers, but the arena. And the momentum is killed. And I love that about our team. But I do think the rebounding was key for us. I think we forced them to turn the ball over a little bit more, and I think we brought the physicality. And like I said earlier, I think they spent the rest of the series trying to match us physically and really be tough. And I think that was something that you could tell was talked about in their locker room. They spoke about it in interviews after game 1 and whatnot. I thought game 2, they made more shots and they kind of got hot at home. But after that, the rest of the series, they were so focused on trying to match us with the physicality. And I think we really did a good job there. All year long, the Knicks have been a gritty, grimy team, a super, super grimy team. And I think we not only transferred and translated that into the playoffs, but the defense came with it. The Cleveland Cavaliers, like I said, Donovan Mitchell is an all-time performer when you just from a career standpoint as far as playoff performance. He's been almost guaranteed to always take his game up to another level. He just has. He's going to have his games, and he's had his moments against the Houston Rockets when they were younger and whatnot. It happens. But for the most part, you're bound to get some games for Donovan Mitchell where you're like, whew. And for us to be able to limit that and not only limit him from a playoff standpoint, but he had a worse playoffs than he did in the regular season. Regular season, Donovan Mitchell was a 28-point scorer. Postseason, Donovan Mitchell averages 22 a game. 30% from 3, like I said. And I think being able to take him out of it really, really messed up the Florida Cleveland Cavaliers. And it forced Karis LeVert time and time again throughout the course of almost every single game in this series, especially the last 3 to 4 games. Karis LeVert has had these stretches in the third or fourth quarter where he either gets hot and it kind of is fool's gold to make him try to take even crazier shots or make certain things happen because we're okay with letting Karis LeVert beat us, or he has a dry spell where it's just like Karis LeVert can do nothing right. It's super lopsided. It's either on or extremely off. There's nothing in the middle for Karis LeVert, and I think that was a big thing for us in this series as well, where we were just like, hey, Karis LeVert has to be a factor for y'all to beat us. And in that game where they did beat us in game 2, Karis LeVert played his best basketball. And he had a couple flashes here and there, but it wasn't enough because Karis LeVert isn't going to win you a game. It starts with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, and then on the opposite side, it's going to be Evan Mobley and Jared Allen anchoring that defense and cleaning up the glass for y'all and allowing y'all to play at y'all tempo and control the pace of the game and the series. But it didn't go that way for the Cleveland Cavaliers. It went the opposite, where we were able to have Jalen Brunson be our engine, which I said on the podcast, Jalen Brunson was going to have to be our lead guy to win this series. It's not that Julius Randle wasn't going to be able to play good basketball, because he did, but I thought Jalen Brunson was going to have to control the pace of the game and command control of the series, and I think he did that as a floor general and as a go-to guy throughout certain stretches, whether it was us having momentum and kind of, knocking them away and killing them out of games, whether it's them going on a run and having some momentum and us being able to respond time and time again. To beat a team as talented as the Cleveland Cavaliers in 5 games, you have to be a team that has an answer for every single thing they throw at you. And I feel like time and time again, that was the result and the reality for us. And for us to be able to do it in 5 games makes me extremely confident for whoever we face for the rest of these playoffs. Are we the best team in the playoffs? Absolutely not. But I think we have a lot to make teams work. And I think we can win against anybody because we have length. We can rebound the basketball. We have guys who can control the tempo of a game like Jalen Brunson. We have guys who are comfortable scoring in a half-court offense like Brunson and Randle. And when R.J. Barrett plays the way he's played over the last 3 games in the series, you can add him to the list. We got a dirty work player who knows his role and is a star in that role, and Mitchell Robinson, who's not afraid to go down there and get 18 rebounds or 11 offensive rebounds. We got the same thing in the wing position from Josh Hart, who's willing to do any and everything to win a basketball game, whether it's hit corner threes, whether it's grab rebounds and run in transition and create plays. He had a lot to Mitchell Robinson today that I love. He'll guard guys. He was guarding Donovan Mitchell. So we got a guy like that. We have bench pieces in depth, whether it's Emmanuel Quickley, who didn't necessarily have the greatest series, but he's still Emmanuel Quickley, and any given game he can explode and be that 6th man of the year candidate that we saw. And then Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin, to me, I've said so many times, it's kind of bittersweet watching him have moments in the playoffs, because when I watch Obi Toppin, it's alarming to me that he won't have a long future with the Knicks. Obi Toppin is a guy that we're going to have to package and trade in some type of way to go get that missing piece to put us over the top for a contention and for a championship. And he's going to go to a team, and he's going to be a guy that we're going to see his name in the running of a potential most improved player candidacy. He's going to be a guy who's going to compete for a most improved player award, because once Obi Toppin is in a situation like with the Pacers, for instance, if Obi Toppin was able to go be a starting power forward for the Pacers and play 27 to 31 minutes a game with Tyrese Halliburton in an up-tempo pace and be able to space the floor and shoot some threes, have some alley-oops and some dunks, you know what I mean, maybe expand his game, do a little bit more that we haven't seen in New York, I think he's going to have the numbers, the highlights, and he's going to have a bunch of fans around the league that are like, this dude is super exciting, and he's going to take the league by storm in that type of way. So every time I watch Obi, I'm like, damn, somebody's going to get the fully developed Obi, and they're going to be like, we came up, we hit a lick. So I love it. I'm happy. Obviously, we prefer to play the Miami Heat, but like I said, hopefully the Heat can win that in 7. Definitely don't want to underestimate the Bucks and keep that window open any longer, because obviously the more it gets extended, the more life that the Bucks are going to get. But when you look at matchup perspective for the New York Knicks, obviously you much rather prepare for Jimmy Butler and a Tyler Hero-less Miami Heat versus a Milwaukee Bucks team with Giannis Antetokounmpo, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez, and that bitch unit of Jay Crowder, Joe Ingles, Bobby Portis, Javon Carter. You much rather deal with the Miami Heat. You know what I mean? I think we check a lot of boxes off against the Miami Heat than the Milwaukee Bucks. I think we have much better depth than the Miami Heat. I think we have more size on the interior than the Miami Heat. I think our defense can be stingier and more grimier than the Miami Heat. And I think we match up with them really, really well versus the Bucks. We don't really have an answer for Giannis Antetokounmpo because he's such a force on the inside and in the interior. You then look at Mitchell Robinson potentially getting into foul trouble. Even if he doesn't, he'll probably be matched up with Brook Lopez. And if he is, Brook Lopez is going to be able to pull him away from the basket. And then what is that, Julius Randle one-on-one with Giannis? Or is Julius Randle guarding Brook Lopez away from the basket? And now Mitchell Robinson is just doing his thing with Giannis. But then again, you're putting Mitchell Robinson in a position to kind of be in foul trouble. And if Mitchell Robinson isn't on the floor for us because of fouls, we're probably in trouble because he gives us a lot of second chance points on the offensive glass, like we've seen all series against this Cleveland Cavalier team, where he basically out-rebound and outperformed Evan Mobley and Jared Allen combined. So those are my things of what I look at as far as being matched up with the Milwaukee Bucks. You obviously look at Jrue Holiday being matched up on Jalen Brunson potentially, his size and what he does defensively. That's another thing you have to look at. Now, if you match us up with the Miami Heat, Bam Adebayo is extremely good defensively, and he's a really good basketball player, but has a reluctancy to be an aggressive scoring punch for the Miami Heat. They already are down Tyler Hero probably for the rest of the playoffs with a broken hand. Kyle Lowry has certain moments here and there where he can do some veteran things, but for the most part, I think Jalen Brunson outperforms him and Gabe Vincent. Duncan Robinson can shoot the ball. There's nobody he can guard for us on the Knicks, and I don't think they have an answer for Julius Randle unless they're trying to put Jimmy Butler on him. Kevin Love won't be able to keep up. Like I really think we would run through the Miami Heat with all due respect, unless Jimmy Butler is putting up 50-point performances constantly. And who better to prepare for Jimmy Butler than Tom Thibodeau? Who better to prepare for him? So I love our chances against the Miami Heat. That's who I'm hoping for. That's who I'm rooting for. It's tough. It's very tough for me to say because obviously Javon is on the Milwaukee Bucks. I want to see Javon get that championship ring. He's been close with the Suns, the Brooklyn Nets, and now he's with the Bucks. Would love to see him be able to bring that ring to the crib, but I look at them down 3-1, and I don't know how Giannis's lower part is feeling after falling on his back or his butt, whatever you want to call it. So we'll see going forward. The other series that we have wrapped up already, obviously, Philadelphia did their thing against Brooklyn. Brooklyn got swept, wasn't able to steal one, even without Joel Embiid in that last game 4. Denver was able to close it out against the Timberwolves. Very, very unfortunate situation happening. I know everybody's seeing it on social media today. The Anthony Edwards chair situation. Very, very, I don't even know the word to use for it because obviously Anthony Edwards has to be better. You know what I mean? He was frustrated or whatnot, but when you're dealing with something like a chair and you got so many different people in that situation, whether it was a fan, a kid, he did end up, I guess, hitting 2 women with the chair. I've seen the video. I'm going to just be honest. Yeah, it made contact, but it wasn't what was being portrayed before I saw the video. Before I saw the video and I was seeing the reports and some of the language with, the charges, I was definitely expecting to see a whole different video. And it's a shame the type of world that we live in where we have so many people looking at, every day in any way to be an opportunist. And when you talk about third-degree assault and all of that, I think that's a little bit overboard. I think we got some people out there trying to take advantage of a situation, unfortunately. Hopefully that gets resolved in a proper manner where everybody can be able to walk away from the situation, in a better way. Obviously, I'm not for anybody getting hurt. Like I said, anybody that was affected with the chair would not. Obviously, we not wishing harm on anybody. But when you start to use certain language and certain charges against somebody for something so minor, but yet you're trying to blow it up like it's a big thing, or somebody was intentionally doing some harm to you, or that they physically really damaged you, I just think that's a little strange and weird, and I don't understand how people want to be like. Why would you want to be that person? There's nothing wrong with being like, damn, what would you tripping? Slow down, like damn. But to go out and be pressing charges for certain things. I think that could have been easily cleared up. You know, I mean, you go out, you communicate, you know, to Anthony Edwards what was done, and I'm sure after you know, after emotions was able to settle, you definitely probably get an apology, and you'll probably get taken care of. You know, you probably get taken care of in some capacity. But going about it that way, I just think it's kind of it's kind of classless and it's, you know, distasteful. But the Timberwolves will be going home. Like I said, we got the Bucks and the Miami Heat going on, probably starting right now in live time as we speak. We also have the Kings and the Warriors, which is probably, outside of the Knicks and Cavs, have been my favorite series, just because it's the only series that's 2-2. Every other series is 3-1. The Grizzlies handled the Lakers today. I wasn't able to watch because obviously I was watching my Knicks, but I did see that the Grizzlies put a beating down on the Lakers. Somebody is going to blow a 3-1 lead. I'm glad it ain't my team. We handle business 4-1. We on into the next round. But now you have the Suns handle their business against the Clippers. That's 4-1. The Grizzlies handled their business. So we got Miami. We got the Lakers and the Grizzlies, which is now 3-2. And then we also have the Celtics and the Hawks. And the Celtics had a chance to close it at home, and they didn't. And now that's 3-2 going back to Atlanta. Definitely don't think that the Celtics are going to be the team that blow 3-1, but that is something to watch because I was definitely caught by surprise that the Hawks were able to walk out of that game knowing that they had no DeJounte Murray, and it was just basically Trae Young and the rest of the Hawks against the Boston Celtics, who had been dominant throughout that series. So to see them still won in Boston and a closeout game with no DeJounte Murray, I know that gave the Hawks a bunch of confidence going back home in Atlanta with a chance to force a Game 7. Celtics are a very, very good team, but they better not play around. They better take care of that business because you do not want to go to a Game 7 with a team like Atlanta who has nothing to lose, and they have a guy like Trae Young who, before you know it, can just have one of those nights where he decides he's not losing and all the shots start falling. So hopefully the Celtics take care of business. But somebody's blowing a 3-1 lead. There's no way half of the series or more than half of the series all go 3-1 and then they all just close out. It's just no way for me to believe that. I'm anticipating somebody blowing a 3-1 lead. Actually, y'all let me know in the comments who y'all think blowing that 3-1 lead. Shout out to my boy Mike. He better hope it ain't the Lakers. I'm happy it won't be the Knicks. But yeah, NBA Weekly, man. The more and more these games go by, the more NBA Weekly we'll have. We also going to have some draft stuff because the draft lottery is coming up. Obviously, the Rockets hired Ime Udoka. That's probably something I may do a separate video on. It's a lot going on around the league. Russell Westbrook is about to go into unrestricted free agency. We got the Dylan Brooks. 1 minute he's a villain, 1 minute he's not. We got a lot to talk about in the coming days as we close out this week and wrap up the first round of the playoffs. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all tapping in with your boy. I had to do this for my Knicks. We on cloud 9 right now. I'm still trying to keep it cool, but on the inside, I'm ready to celebrate. If you're new, subscribe. Leave a like if you like this type of content. NBA Weekly. I'm your host, Pee Wee the Plug. I will see y'all next time. I'm out. Peace.